Hi, this is Richard Quack here, coming to you live from Malaysia. I would like to welcome you to my weekly live video, and today I would like to talk about personal development. And the topic is change is necessary for success. Now, I believe that if you want to be successful or do better in life, then you need to change. There are many areas of change which I'm going to talk about later on. Okay. Now, I'm sure you heard the definition of insanity, right? Many times. Let me repeat for you. It is about doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, which will never happen. All right. If you keep on doing the same thing all the time, you will have the same result. The only way to change, to have a different result, is to do things differently. All right. So that is why the definition of insanity is doing the same thing year in and year out, expecting a different result, which will never happen. It is stupidity, in fact. All right. Now, let me give you three illustrations about this. Okay. Number one, water in a glass. Now, if you keep on pouring milk into the glass, what do you get? Of course, milk, all right? But a lot of people, they keep on pouring milk into the glass and they're complaining, why is it that it's always milk? I want Coke, all right? So the truth is that if you want Coke, then you got to start pouring Coke into the glass of milk until it overflows and then you will have Coke, all right? So that's how the mindset of most people are. They keep on complaining, but they don't change. All right. The other example I can give you is planting seed. Now, if you plant papaya seed, okay, what sort of tree will it grow to? And what fruit? Of course, papaya, right? So if they keep on planting papaya seed, you expect papaya tree which bear papaya fruit. Isn't it true? So if you want mangosteen, for example, then you got to plant mangosteen seed. And then only then we will get mangosteen. Okay, so basically we have to change. Now the last thing is, a last example I'll give you is, I'm sure you notice housefly. When a housefly is trapped in a house, okay, it tries to get out of the house, and you know what? If there is a window pane there, it will keep on hitting against the window pane. Keep on doing the same thing in and out. The only way for the housefly to get out of the house is to fly around and look for a outlet whereby it can fly out of the house. Okay, so these are three examples which I give you, which are very important. All right, it illustrates that a lot of people fear change. Just like this example here, people fear change. They rather die than change, that's for sure. All right, so change is necessary for success. Now let's have a look at what are the things to change if you want to be successful. I'm sure this is common sense to a lot of people, but I want to go through with you, which is very important. All right, if you want to be successful, number one, you got to change the habit. Okay, most of us have developed over the years bad habits. All right, so if you want to be successful, you got to replace the bad habits with good ones. A good example I can give you here is some people have the habits of going to events or meetings late. All right, it is not about the traffic jam, it's not about any other circumstances, it's just a habit of going to meetings late. So that is a bad habit. So if you know that you have a bad habit, then you got to start to change and start going for meetings early. All right. Another example is most people have the habit of starting something and never completing it. That is a bad habit, which is not going to lead you to success. So if you want to be successful, you got to start changing and make sure that when you start a project or you start something, make sure that you complete it. All right, so habit is very important. I know we are creatures of habit, and once you do things over and over again, you don't think about it. You just do it automatically. That's why it is very dangerous. Okay. The second thing that you have to change is your attitude. What is your attitude towards life? What's your attitude towards success? What's the attitude towards money? There are many things here, but the thing is that you got to change your attitude from negative to positive. All right, if you always have a negative attitude of complaining, looking at the negative side of things and always being reactive, then you got to change your attitude. All right, only when you change your attitude, then you can become successful. Okay, the third thing is belief. What is your belief like? most people have a very weak belief. Most of all, they don't even believe in themselves. All right, if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you? Okay, believe in what you do as well. That's important. If you don't believe in what you do, you should quit it. Yes, for sure. So belief is very important because it is a fuel to bring you forward to success. More people have weak belief system. That's why they fail. Look at all the successful people outside there. Their belief is not only strong, it is not shaken at all. Okay, so the third thing is environment. Okay, you know the environment is very crucial to success. If you want to be successful, you got to be in the environment of people who are successful. That's why Jim Rohn say you are the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. So it's important to choose your environment because a negative environment will not help you towards success. So choose your environment. You have the greatest choice. You have the greatest gift of all, which is the gift of choice. So you got to choose who you associate with. That's very important. So environment, all right. A lot of people, they choose the environment based on what? Being comfortable. All right. No, you got to choose a different environment with people who are successful or people who are on their way to success. All right. Not because of what? Convenience. All right. Because you like it. No. Choose your environment wisely. That's important. Okay. The next thing is the way of doing things. Okay. Now, if you do things and you are not successful, what do you need to do? Of course, change. All right. Certain things that you do are not working, so you got to identify what is not working and change. All right. I know a lot of people don't like to change, especially now today. If you are doing business or even network marketing for that matter, right? You got to use social media. You got to use the internet. I know some people outside there, they have fear of using social media and internet, so they stick to the old ways. When you don't change, you are going to be left behind. So the way of doing things is also very, very important, how you do things, because time changes, technology changes, all right? But you have to change as well, the way of doing things, okay? Now, the other thing is your goal. Your goal will change as well, all right? I mean, I'm not saying that you give up on your goal, but you got to change how you approach your goal, all right? Your goal is there, no doubt, but then you got to be flexible to change as well. If you do it this way, it doesn't go towards your goal, then you got to change the way you do things. All right. So important change is very, very important. Okay. So that's about things that need to change in order for you to change. Now I want to share with you the success formula. All right. This success formula is very important. I think it was shared by Anthony Robbins. All right. Now, the first thing you need to do in the success formula is decide what you want. That is very, very critical. Most people don't even know what they want. Now, the truth is that you can have anything in life that you want, provided you know what you want. But ask yourself, do you really know what you want? Be specific about it. Most people do not know. So the first thing you need to do is decide precisely, specifically what you want to achieve. Very important. Okay, let me give you an example. If you say, oh, I want to be rich, that is not specific enough. Okay, I want to earn 100,000 US dollar a month, and that is specific. All right, it must be specific what you want. All right, so decide what you want. Number two, no matter how you plan, no matter what you want, it will never come to you if you don't take action. Action is very important. Taking action is very important. And when I say take action, that means you got to really take, massive action, consistent action, and persistent action. All right, a lot of people, they watch the movie The Secret. All right, they visualize this, you visualize that, but at the end of the day, if you don't take action, nothing is going to happen. All right, like you heard before, by your thoughts, you attract things into your life. By your action, you receive it. So once you attract things into your life, you have to take action as well. Okay, that's the second thing. The third thing is feedback. Now, it's important to realize that whatever action you take, the outcome may not be what you desire. Isn't it true? So you got to study what is the outcome like. Okay, use it as a feedback. Okay, and discover what works and what does not work. All right, because certain things you do will not work, but certain things you do may work. Okay, so you got to have a look at the feedback and change. That's important. Be flexible. You know, feedback is very important. It tells you what is wrong, and you got to correct yourself. All right, you got to correct yourself. And lastly, number 4, you got to be flexible to change. Again, we talk about change here, right? Flexible to change. If it doesn't work, all right, then you got to be flexible to change and try and try and try again. And be persistent. That's the most important thing. Flexibility to change is important, but you got to be persistent as well. All right, because whatever you do, you may not get the outcome immediately. You got to change and try again until you become successful. All right, those who are doing internet marketing, they know this very well. Okay, they have to change. They have to test and track. Okay, what is the marketing strategies like and so on. They have to test and track and change to improve themselves. Okay, that's so important. Now, I want to talk lastly about role modeling. This is very important. If you want to shortcut your success, then you got to role model people who are successful. All right, when you talk about role modeling, I'm not saying copycat people and so on, but when you talk about role modeling, there is a strategy about role modeling. Number 1, you got to role model people belief system. Okay, so you got to study successful people and find out what is the belief system like. I can assure you, most of the belief system are very strong. They have 100% belief in what they do or what they're going to do. So belief is very important. Role model people's belief. Successful people belief system important. Okay. Number 2, look at the physiology. All right, and role model the physiology. Physiology is very important. Look at the successful people and see how they walk, how they talk, their tonality, and so on. All right, so physiology is important. Now you look at successful people like, say, golfer Tiger Woods or basketballer Michael Jordan. Look at how they walk. They don't walk with a hunchback and they don't walk slowly, they walk with the chest in front of them. All right, and they are confident. The way they walk, the physiology, they are very confident about themselves. So physiology is very, very important. Okay, about role modeling, the last one is called mental syntax. Now, this is very important because we make decisions based on few things, right? Number 1, what you see, all right, because we are talking about seeing, your sight, all right, your audio, your auditory, and you talk about feeling and so on, all right? So basically, when you talk about mental syntax is, successful people, they do things in order. That means probably, you've got to find out how they think first, how they speak, and how they react. Okay, so this is important. Mental syntax, the order of it, important. The order of it. So basically, successful people, they have a mental syntax that you can copy. All right, you got to study them. Okay, mental syntax involving visual, auditory, all right, and visual, feeling. Okay, so basically, maybe they feel first, and then they talk, and then they take action. Whichever comes in what order, you got to study. That is what we call role modeling. Okay, you can shortcut the success by role modeling people who are successful in the belief system, in the physiology, and also in the mental syntax, in the order in which they think or they take action. Okay, so that's all my sharing for today. I hope that you learned something here. This is a very important topic, I believe, because why? Change is necessary for success. If you are still struggling and not achieving result in your life, then it is high time you got to change. That's it. All right, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing year in and year out, expecting a different result, which will never happen. Okay, so for things to change, you have to change. Change in what area? In terms of your habits, in terms of your attitude, in terms of your belief, in terms of the environment, in terms of the way you do things, and in terms of your goal as well. You got to change. All right. Now, the successful formula that I shared with you here, decide what you want, take action, massive action, consistent action, and persistent action. And you get feedback from the outcome, and then look at what works and what don't work. So whatever don't work, then you got to think about how to make it work. That's it. All right. And lastly, you got to be flexible to change. Okay. And lastly, I talk about role modeling. You got to role model people who are successful in terms of their belief, in terms of the physiology, in terms of their mental syntax, the order which they think. That is so important. Okay. So that's all my sharing for today. I hope that you learned something. I think it's very important topic for success. All right. And I hope you learned something here. If you like what you hear and see, please feel free to like, to share, and to comment. I appreciate the time that you spend with me here. And I really hope that you benefit from all this sharing that I'm providing to you. Okay. So that's all my sharing for today. I will see you again for another session of my live video on Friday. So this is Richard Quek from Malaysia wishing you good night and goodbye.